or if you have a good question, I'll add you to the chat and we'll get started. Hope you guys are doing well. Just enjoying an evening cigar. I just got done a phenomenal series inside Capital Club here in Singapore. I've been traveling through Asia, but my Asia tour, ladies and gentlemen, is coming to an end. I am on my way to beautiful Dubai tomorrow. I'm going to be spending 10 days in Dubai. Maybe we get together with the glitches out there. It's going to be a good time. I'm there meeting with some 8 and 9 figure entrepreneurs to sit down and talk Capital Club, talk business. You guys will have access to our conversations inside the platform when it opens up this summer. But I wanted to give, a little bit of time for conversation. So we got 2,300 people there tuned in. Who should we let in? Guys, what do you guys want to talk about? Should we talk about business? Should we talk about why the school system is shit? What should we talk about? Biohacking? Is it a little bit hypocritical for me to be smoking a cigar and be talking about biohacking? I don't think so. Because every now and then you can enjoy a little cigar. It's not a daily thing. I'm here. I would show you guys my surroundings, but that would give away my location. Last time I gave away my location, some of you motherfuckers pulled up to my hotel. So we're definitely not going to do that shit. But we have some people that want to talk about business. So let's talk about some general business principles that I think are extremely important. Should I give you guys one of the principles that I learned from this $200 million a year e-commerce expert that is, he's teaching some beautiful lessons inside Capital Club when it opens this summer. But he gave me some incredible data sets. And, what I first learned is that the moment that you think you know everything, and it's usually the poor people, hear me out. It's usually the poor people that think that they know something. It's usually the poor people that have these blinders on in this limitation. When I sit down with successful people, when I sit down with wealthy people, yeah, there's some pricks out there. There's some people out there that are not really nice. But for the most part, most of these guys that I sit down and talk to, their parents were taxi drivers. Their moms were teachers at school. Their moms were either stay-at-home moms, housewives, or their fathers work in factories. So I sit down and I see these guys go from zero to hero, and they're extremely humble. So my mind is just extremely boggled on a regular basis when the noobs, right, the bots, the doubters and the naysayers, and I understand, you live in an ecosystem with so much shit, so much bullshit, so many lies, that it's so hard to understand what is true. But you must test things before you judge them to see if they are good. Just like you wouldn't judge a book by its cover, you would read it. You must not judge a dish by its appearance before you taste it. And it's the same thing with information. It's the same thing with knowledge. It's the same thing with wisdom. It's the same thing with information that you receive. You must be able to test it to prove the thesis and then implement the thesis. You must implement in business, right? Oh, the lights just turned off here. It's late. It's midnight. It's midnight here in Singapore. So as you guys know, if it's midnight here in Singapore and I'm hopping on these calls, I got up at about 7 a.m., but my passion keeps me awake. But anyways, I want to talk a little bit about business. As I sat down with this $200 million a year entrepreneur, you guys will be able to listen to the conversation yourselves inside Capital Club. He said, if you want to succeed in business, you need to establish this very basic criteria. What is this criteria? I'm going to move to, I think there's a little bit of light somewhere else, but I'm going to keep it in the dark because I'm chilling. He said, here's the formula. Write this down. Let me know if you're writing this down. Once you're ready, I'll let you guys know. So as I spoke to this $200 million a year entrepreneur, he mentioned the concept of succeeding in business. There we go. Matrix attack has been cease and desist. We are back in business. He mentioned 3 aspects of building a successful business. Number one, very simple. You need to plan. How many times in your business, before either you test a product in e-commerce, before you test an idea, How much time do you spend planning? How much time do you spend, developing your war plan? How much time do you spend planning by understanding the marketplace and by understanding the ecosystem that you're in? Most of you guys are very impulsive, right? You're not proactive, you're reactive in the business place. But if you want to succeed in business, you need to understand that reactiveness is an impulse. You cannot conduct business off of impulse, because impulse means that you're conducting business off of chance. You cannot leave business up to chance. You need to leave it up to probabilities. And probabilities can be controlled based off of your positioning. That's number one. Number two, you need to test. Test is number two. But inside testing, it also implies execution. So once you have your plan, you need to execute on a timely fashion based off of what? Based off of the thesis that you've put together or your business plan. Most of you guys have not developed a business plan, let alone you spend time executing on that plan. You spend time scrolling on the internet, you spend time gaining information, but unless you do, right, you're not going to be able to achieve success. There are those that think, and then there's those that act. If you want to make money, you need to act, right? You need to do something with the information and the knowledge that you have. So once you plan, then you execute. And finally, this is the most important thing. Cigar went out. I'll light it up afterwards once we're done. And finally, you have to iterate. You have to iterate. You need to be able to understand that iteration is the key to mastery and the key to perfecting your craft. Test is important, but iteration is what causes perfection. Iteration is what causes perfection. You must be able to consistently and effectively reiterate the plan that has been executed so that you can refine your craft. That is the difference between a professional and an amateur. A professional learns from his mistakes. A professional learns from his errors. A professional learns from the market that he's involved in, and he iterates and he adapts to what? Build a stronghold in the marketplace so that he can have what? One word, ladies and gentlemen, one very important word. Master predictability. Master predictability. You do not want to build a business that is volatile. You can't build a business off of volatility. It's not sustainable. That's why a lot of you guys that do direct-to-consumer brands, that you do e-commerce, you do affiliate marketing, you do Amazon FBA, you don't have predictable models, so you cannot, really predict your cash flow. It's not easy to do. I'm not saying that it's easy, but the formula exists, right? And over the last couple of weeks, as I sit with these fucking giants in the business space, people that have done $700 million in sales, $5 billion of assets under management, dudes that are out here trading against banks, really making fucking moves. I've been extremely humbled, because I've done well in crypto. I've done well in e-commerce, but I haven't been in a situation whereby it makes me want to get back in the game. I'll be honest with you guys. Like when I sit down with these ballers, I'm humbled by the fact that there's levels to the levels. The moment you make $10 million, you're like, okay, I'm set. Perfect. That's cool. Yes, I understand. I had some people make fun of me when I talked about this idea of making $5 million in a day. Like, oh, well, that's, and I said, that's chump change. And they're like, well, how is it chump change? I'm not saying I make $5 million every single day. Like, don't get me wrong. That's not a viable way of processing information. But instead of, acting almighty and all strong, I come to realize, like, dude, there's levels to the levels. There's levels to business. There's levels to the game. And once these guys were showing me their numbers, they were showing me their P&Ls, they were showing me some of their systems, they were showing me how they build teams with up to 2,000, 3,000 members, employees. I'm like, fuck, bro, like, maybe this whole idea that I built up in my mind of retiring at the age in my mid 20s, maybe it's bullshit, bro. Maybe I got to get back into the game. So, I enjoyed my last couple years of vacation. I was able to cash out a nice quite of my money, a nice bit of my money through investments and stuff like that, and I was able to enjoy the beach. But when I sit down and I look at these guys that are just like grinding and hustling and building, I'm like, dude, I want to build again. And I enjoy content. I enjoy talking to you guys. I enjoy us sitting together and having a conversation. Most of you guys watching me now, you see 2,600 people, and you don't realize that, in fact, I was doing these live streams with 10 people many years ago. So you may think that Luke is new around the block, but in fact, you're actually new around the block. I've been doing this for a while, hence why I've been able to cement my name inside the business world, inside the business space, and I've been able to build phenomenal relationships. I'm on my way to Dubai tomorrow. I'm meeting with 8 and 9 figure entrepreneurs that have been able to succeed. Many of them come from nothing. And we're sitting down for an exclusive series inside Capital Club that you guys will have access to this summer. And I come back as a person that's here to learn. In no way, shape, or form am I going to pretend that I know everything. The moment that you think that you know everything is the moment that you stop growing and you stop learning. And I think that being part of a network and being part of a group of people that sober you up to reality and give you a real paradigm of what is possible in life is a really good thing. So you need to evaluate the people that you surround yourself with. You need to evaluate the people that you listen to, and you need to be able to really be humble. It is often those people that are not humble that aren't able to achieve many things in life. And I'm not talking about cocky arrogance. You look at somebody that's extremely successful and they've earned their belt per se to trash talk or to say certain things. Yeah, that's cool. But I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the individuals that think they know everything, but their bank account reflects that they know nothing. So if you want to succeed in business, you need to be able to plan. Business plan. If you don't know what a business plan is, go spend some time on YouTube. Like, how do I develop a business plan? How do I develop a viable business model? And understand how to study the market, understand how to study your niche, understand how to create an ideal customer avatar that you can serve. 2, you need to execute. You need to execute on the plans that you are theorizing. And finally, you need to iterate. A lot of you guys are doing the exact same thing that you were doing last year. You need to understand that the market evolves, the market changes, the market is extremely different than it used to be last year, than it used to be the year before. And unless you're able to iterate, right? It's not this idea of evolution of, turning from monkeys to humans, but it's this idea of microevolution of the world is shifting, and unless you evolve with the world, you're going to be left behind. That is what I've kind of learned over the last couple years. So let's do a couple lives here. Add a couple people. I don't really know who to add. I don't know any of these profile photos. But if you want me to add you to one of these live streams, you have to have a real profile photo. If you don't have a real profile photo, I can't add you. Do a number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Do a number 1 in the chat if you want me to add some people here to the AMA. We'll do a quick AMA, 3 questions. And let's see what people say. Let's see. Do a number 1 or a little fire emoji, guys. If you guys are interested. We've got 2,500 people in chat. You guys know I don't really hop on live often, so you need to be able to abstain from the dopamine desire to go back on your phone and go back to bullshitting and go back to nonsense. There's so many distractions out there. You need to understand the value, right? The value of listening to information. Because what I've learned, guys, listen, I'm going to tell you guys something. May I? What I've learned is that most of the sabotage in your life is self-induced. hear me out, okay? Most of the sabotage that is self-induced in life is because you do not have the self-regulation to do that which you know you need to do. So you need to be able to ask yourself, right? You know you need to go to the gym. You know you need to start this business. You know you need to read this book, but you don't do it. Why? Why don't you do it? Not, oh, I didn't do it today. No, why didn't you do it? Why did you cave to the nonsensical bullshit and the perspective that you're above the grind, you're above the work, you're above the consistency? Because these are the things that are holding you back. We understand that consistency compounds. I've said this once and I'll say it again. But why is it that you know what to do, but you don't do it? Don't just say, oh, because I'm lazy. No, that's not good enough. Right? No, it's not that you're lazy. Something else is wrong. You need to be able to identify these things. And once you identify these things, you're able to tackle them effectively. I'm spitting some game here. I'm hyped, guys. I'm hyped to talk to you guys. It's been a little bit of time. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy just sitting down and conversing with you guys. I'm happy. I'm happy to be chopping it up with you guys on a regular basis. I appreciate you guys, taking the time of the day to be here. I know you could be doing anything. You could be scrolling on TikTok and doing some other bullshit, but you are an anomaly. You are a glitch. You're a person that's interested in leveling up. So should we let some people in? All right. Profile photos or videos need to be on. Let's bring 3 people on. Here are the rules. Before I bring you on, you need to state your name, what you do, how much you're currently making, right? And what your question is. So no bullshit, no nonsense, no pitching, none of that bullshit. Let's provide value to each other, right? You can't be thinking about what you can receive, think about what you can give. So build a question that is, constructive for everybody else in the community to listen to and to learn, and we can kind of address those things. So let's get started here. Let me select one of you guys. Who should I pick? Let's get this one guy in here by the name of Bartek. Here we go. Did it add?
Hello?
Hey, how's it going, brother?
How's it going, brother? I can't believe I'm on the phone to you, man.
Hey, hang on. Stop moving.
Yeah.
All right. Chill out. You're good, bro. Talk to me. What do you do? What's your name? Where are you from?
Yeah, my name is Bartek Standa. I'm currently working as a salesman in a company called Universal Media. I literally just started 7 days ago because I've seen you and a few other influencers like Andrew Tate and stuff like that telling me that it's better to start a sales shop, and I actually reached 4 figures today in sales over the phone. I sell marketing and advertising. I was 17
Lovely.
years old. I got a 7 days ago. I went up to the office, and he seen that I looked muscular, and I got the job. I didn't believe I could get the job. I applied everywhere, got the job, and I started 7 days ago, man.
Congratulations, brother. You're 17 years old?
Yeah, I'm 17 years old, correct.
What's the building behind you?
Sorry?
What's the building behind you?
It's a church.
Lovely. Are you in Ireland right now? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Are you in Ireland right now?
Yeah, in Dublin, Ireland, yeah.
Lovely. So you're 17 years old. You're doing a sales job. What's your question, brother?
My question I would ask you would be, with AI that's coming in the next 5 to 10 years, what would you say would be the most reliable business model to start looking into to prepare yourself for the future to come?
So the first thing that I would say, I was listening to Gary Vaynerchuk. He was talking the other day I think he was in Cannes,
Yeah.
at a conference, and he was talking about, everybody's out here talking about AI.
Yeah.
Everybody's out here talking about artificial intelligence. I'm gonna put you back on live so that you can listen. Now that I have the question,
Okay.
Because he had his ear, guys. He had his ear. He didn't come prepared. He didn't have his headphones. He was giving me a bad aesthetic. Anyways, I was listening to an interview by Gary Vaynerchuk, and it just got published recently, and he was talking about this very simple idea of, everybody's out here talking about AI, but most of you motherfuckers don't even know what AI is about. Right? You don't understand artificial intelligence. You don't understand what it means. So many times people worry about the wrong thing, and they worry about the wrong thing because they're thinking about the future. It's perfect to think about the future, but if you're poor, right, you can't be really focused about the future. You need to be focused on the present moment. What can you do right now to make money? So I think this gentleman is doing an extremely good job at doing what? At positioning himself by doing sales. So at the age of 17, he said, all right, I would have made my first 4 figures 7 days in, which means probably medium ticket, high ticket. He made $1,000, right? If he was working at a waiting job, if he was working in a restaurant, if he was working in a hotel, this would take him a week, if not 2 weeks, to be able to make money in this position. He also said, I'm well built. I went to the gym. I look good. So he has an extra advantage over somebody that looks sloppy, somebody that isn't well conditioned. Why? Because he has an attractive physique. It's good for business. He commands some sort of respect, and he shows what? Discipline and consistency. I would say before you even worry about artificial intelligence, you need to have 6 figures in the bank account, right? Have 100 grand. Have 100 grand. Sales is a phenomenal way to do it. Whether you're doing affiliate marketing, whether you're doing sales over the phone, whatever it may be, you need to understand that you need to learn what I like to call forever skills or inflation-proof skills. These are skills that will translate forever in perpetuity, regardless of the time and age. If AI exists, there will still be the need to sell in person. If AI is still around, there will still be the need for human interaction. When the moment comes around where robots exist and things like that, that'll be a different story. But at the end of the day, you need to be able to learn foundational skills like networking, sales, marketing, communication. These are pivotal for your success. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? You need to learn forever skills. These skills are what I like to call inflation-proof skills. Inflation-proof skills are skills that allow you to not worry. Listen to me. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. If you're taking notes, if you are, perfect. If you're not, totally fine. That's totally cool. But understand this very basic principle. Your confidence cannot be based on money. The money that you have is not your metric of confidence. So when you see the money in your bank account, you can't feel confident with that money in the bank account because it's conjured up out of thin air, right? It's fake. Yes, you can use it to spend things. You can use it to buy things. Yes, you can use it to barter, whatever it may be. But what you can actually count on in perpetuity is yourself, the skills that you've developed. That's what you need to be able to rely on and count on. Your skills. You hear me? So the question is, what skills do you have today that make you trust yourself? And if you have none, you need to start asking yourself, what type of skills can I develop so that I can begin to trust myself more and begin to walk with confidence? I'll give you an example. And I'm not a fighter. I spar. I do a little bit of boxing here and there. I'm not, by no means, no professional. But if I'm walking down an alley and I have a professional understanding of some sort of martial art or combat sport, and I see a random guy there, if I have no experience, right, I may be alerted, I may be afraid, but if I'm an expert, if I am quite experienced and I have confidence in my skill, I can walk down that dark alley with confidence that, I can stand my ground. I may not win, I may lose, the other guy may have a gun or may have an advantage, but I can walk with more confidence. If I didn't have a skill, I would walk with a little bit more caution. It's the same thing with the skills in business. It's the same things with the skills in your average life. Develop skills that give you confidence to move around the marketplace with effectiveness. Does that make sense? Alrighty, let's add another person here. You need to have a profile photo. First thing you do, mention your name, what you do, how much money you make, in your question. Unless you have a real name, I'm not going to add you. It's important that you guys, I understand, have an anonymous profile on Instagram, that's fine. Have another profile that you use for networking and you use for interacting with people on the internet. Let's add a guy here by the name of, let's add, I'm going through the names. Let's add this guy called Danny. All right, we just added a guy called Danny. Let's see here if he joins.
Hello.
Danny, how's it going, brother?
It's going good, man. How are you?
Doing well. Where are you from?
I live in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. And
Mexico.
yeah.
Nice, very nice, brother. What do you do?
So I'm it's crazy. So I'm an associate producer of a top 10 business podcast called Bigger Pockets.
Lovely.
And damn, I'm just trying to think, what do you find is the best way to leverage the people that you know?
So are you familiar with how Bitcoin works? You're on mute. I think you're muted.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Are you familiar with how Bitcoin works?
I'm not as familiar with Bitcoin as I am like real estate investing, because that's what the podcast is about.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to give you the premise to answer your question, but I'm going to use Bitcoin as the example. So nodes, right? When you're Bitcoin mining, it's all about nodes. The more nodes make the network more secure and more safe and more stable. If you want to build a valuable connection, you need to, first of all, understand how can you serve them. So the people around you right now, you're an executive producer for a podcast. How are you serving these people? Number one. Number two is the people that come and interact on this podcast. Yes, the hosts are building relationships with these individuals, but what are you doing to be in contact with these individuals? When this person walks in, right, who offers them the water? Who offers them the bottle of water? Who offers them the first handshake? Who offers them the, hey, can I take care of you? Or here's a lint roller so that your shirt is actually pristine? Or who brings the steamer into the place? Is it the makeup artist? Or is it the guy that's perspicacious enough to perceive things ahead of time to make an impact?
Yeah.
So what you need to do is you need to go above and beyond by doing small things. Most people remember what? Gestures, kind gestures. If you want to succeed in business, you need to be able to provide kind gestures to people, not because you want something in return, but you are perceived as a person that solves problems, whether they're big, whether they're small, it doesn't really make a difference. What I've learned in business, bro, is that people that are highly successful, I got a lot of DMs on a regular basis. They're like, hey, Luke, let me come work for you for free. I don't need people to work for me for free. I thankfully I have some money. I want the best people to come work for me. I want people to solve my problems. I don't want to tell people my problems. So how do you expand on the network that you currently have? Be able to first be seen. So how are you seen? You're seen by providing value. No, you don't have to fucking open your mouth. You don't have to talk, hey, my name's Daniel. Here's your water. Anything you need, brother, make yourself at home.
Yeah.
Serving people, going above and beyond. On the way out, hey, anything you need, here's my Instagram. Please let me know. Ask your boss if you're allowed to do that. If he says yes, and you hope most likely he will, that's the end of the game. That's the end of the story. Done. Hey, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It was great listening to you. See you around. Boom, yeah. That's it. Have interaction. That's it. Have interaction. Be seen. There's a law in the 48 laws of power that states that which cannot be seen counts for nothing. So the fact that you're in the room is what matters. Do you understand?
Yeah.
What matters isn't that you have a job, is that you have access. Access is what matters. Access is what matters. So now you have access. Perfect. You're getting paid for the access. How are you doubling down and gaining double the value? Perfect. You may not be getting paid a ton of money, maybe getting paid a little bit of money here and there, whatever the gig may be.
Yeah.
So how do you ensure that you're gaining as much value in return for the time invested? You gain value by giving value, and the value may be small. And this isn't just for you. This is for anybody listening. Dude, I'll give you an example. Many, many years ago, I was waiting tables, and one of the people that I waited tables for was Jeff Bezos, right? And yeah, perfect. Of course, the dude doesn't remember anything, but I was attentive to make sure that the small things that this man needed, I could cater to. I had entrepreneurs that came in on a regular basis, and I would make sure that they would remember me, whether it was by finding a familiarity, by cracking a joke, by making sure I overserved them. So much so that I eventually got to the place where some of them invited me out to do like small little meetups, things of this nature. Why? Because I made myself seen. Many times when you're dealing with high entrepreneurs, a lot of people that haven't achieved massive levels of success yet, they put themselves in the back room. They're like, oh well, I can't do anything. I'm not a valuable person. But